Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tea and Crystals podcast. I am T.
And I'm Crystal.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, we are so happy to have you all with us for another illustrious episode of this here podcast. Now, before we get into all the things we got for y'all today, it's a lot going on, and we are so excited to bring it to y'all. But before we get into that, Crystal, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. It's been a pretty good week for the most part. I did have my interview on Monday, so fingers crossed for that. I haven't heard anything else, but I'll keep y'all. Fingers crossed. I'll keep you guys updated. I don't know if you have been keeping up with the stuff that's been going on in the U.S., but you know how you like to say, like, I don't got TikTok. I'm not going to have TikTok. Well,
Ooh,
I don't know if you've been paying attention, but you might be the only person who has access to our TikTok soon.
My wife and I literally had this conversation over dinner today. I think it was in a lunch or dinner. And I was like, yeah, it's about to be quiet for you TikTok girls. The U.S. government they're ready to snatch their whole ball. Y'all ain't, well, let me not say too much, so we got a TikTok. But it's here show, and I don't, we too need this platform, but.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, you might have to suck it up and download it because at some point there's a possibility where you will be the only person who has access to it. I'm hoping.
Damn, that's true.
Right. I know that people are going to try to find some workarounds and all that stuff. They always do when stuff like this happens. But
VPNs.
I mean, yep, I know. I mean, what happened? Was it this past year? Like Pornhub got heavily regulated in some states. And
I think they just went. They have the ban. I just saw something last night. I think it was Texas banned it, and people are starting to get the messages when they go to Pornhub. Texas didn't shut us down, y'all. It's hands made tails out this bitch. Like,
I saw a news article about it when it first started, and I guess Virginia is the same way because basically what they're trying to do is they want
not the Commonwealth.
Yes, apparently what they want is they want a way to. Basically, they want people to, from what I understand, sign up for it. They want you to verify with your ID and all that stuff to verify you are allowed to watch this. And Pornhub was like, we're not doing all that. This is meant for like privacy and yada yada. We don't want to have people to have to submit their IDs every single time or even just the one time or whatever. He was like, so you know what? While this law is in effect, we're just going to not allow you guys to have access to the site at all. That's what I understood from it.
Crazy. A registry for looking at porn?
Yes,
like,
basically.
What do I have to do next? I'm going to have to do a sign-in sheet to go get my groceries. Y'all girls are getting ridiculous. Y'all are getting ridiculous. It's a way to monetize and restrict people's access to shit that they want. Okay?
Actually.
Open your third eye.
I just saw something about how like Walmart and maybe even Target or something like that, they're looking into possibly limiting who can use the self-checkout lanes. One of the possibilities being floated around is that there would be some sort of subscription, like you have to pay in order to be able to do the self-checkout.
All right. This subscription model shit is getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. Are you kidding me? I got to pay you to pay for my groceries? Ain't no fucking way. You know what? I feel like I've been feeling this way for the past, like, about almost a year now. That I feel like a lot of things are going analog again. And I use that in a metaphorical sense, not the literal sense. But I feel like things are going back to... Like, people are starting to realize that these advancements and stuff have a lot of drawbacks that we're not necessarily ready for. And we're starting to take things back to the OG. Because the story I saw about Walmart was that they were planning to get rid of self-checkout so they could, they were going to hire more cashiers and different stuff like that. which I think is a great idea. I don't like the self. I have had bad experiences in the self checkout with my wife. There was one day. I'll keep it short because we have things to get to. We had went to Walmart. I think we were getting some cheap champagne for something. We were celebrating real quick. We had just went to the Subway or something, or she wanted Subway or something. You know how the Walmart's got Subway built into them. So, in the effort to save time, I was like, cool, it's a little line here at the self-checkout. You go ahead to the Subway. I'm going to go ahead and get the champagne. So, whole time, mind you, I ain't realized Karen, who works at the Walmart, she's employee of the fucking year. Paul Blart Mall Cop over here is watching us the entire time. I'm oblivious because I just want to pay my groceries and get the fuck up out of here, right? So she go on by her business, and I finally get to the self-checkout. So I'm checking out whatever, doing my little thing. And so, you know, when you scan liquor or alcoholic beverages, you got to get somebody to come over to the register. So she come over to the register, and I'm thinking, I already got my ID out, whatever, I'm about to show her. And she's like, where's your little friend? And I was like, excuse me? And she's like, where's your little friend? I saw your little friend left. And I was like, oh, she right over there at the Subway. Why? And she was like, well, how, does she have her ID? How old is she? And I was like, she is old enough to, I don't remember if I try to get her attention or what. I don't remember how the rest of the shit went. I just know that I shoved that champagne in that lady chest, neck, throat area because I was so fucking mad. And I went on by my business. I was like, don't even worry about it. Don't even. And I left, and I was so mad that I called the store back because I was like, y'all don't even know that old lady. She almost got it. I was about to ride up here with my cousins, my female cousins, and she was about to get jumped in that self-checkout line. But that shit is very real, and I think it's, while, you know, people don't go in there playing and then people checkout lines stealing food and shit. I mean, y'all girls are dumb enough to put anyway. Fuck Walmart. That's where I'm getting at.
Right.
Fuck
I'm with
Walmart
you
for that.
All right, so we're going to move on. I have a fun little game or quiz or whatever that we're going to play before we get into our stories. So, you know, for all of y'all who were cussing us about chapters, go on about chapters. I don't even care. Mom. I'm just kidding. I think she's been actually pretty good about, like, actually listening to it. I don't think she really skips, as far as I know. But anyways, this is fact or fiction, and so I've got just a couple of little facts or fictions here. I want Timmy to tell me whether or not he thinks they are true or not, because that is what fact or fiction means. And if you didn't know that, please read a book. All right.
Shout out to our last episode. Reading is fundamental. Okay.
I know. I love your little title. Mind you, for anyone who didn't know this, Timmy's the one who makes up all of our titles, all of them. So
they probably be like, "That's where this stupid shit come from." Okay.
Because that ain't me. All right, first one. In June of 2020, a British bakery threw a birthday party for their 65-year-old sourdough starter.
And I'm supposed to say if that's true or false.
You're supposed to say if it's fact or fiction.
That's true.
That's true? Think so? Final answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Because I know the people that care about them sourdough starters, they be life or death about that shit. They be like, this has been in the family for 68 generations. They don't play, but they're sourdough. So I
know.
That's true.
Singapore has banned durian fruit from the entire country due to its notorious smell.
You said Taiwan?
No, I didn't.
Oh, what you said? What country you said?
I said Singapore. You just brought me flashbacks. You just brought me flashbacks to that senator who was like trying to get the head of TikTok to admit he's part of Chinese, and he's like, Senator, I'm Singaporean. I'm Singaporean. I'm from Singapore. Singapore has banned durian fruit from the entire country due to its notorious smell.
That is false. Because I feel like down in that area, that's where they be getting, people be traveling and stuff. And that's part of like the touristy thing is to try that fruit.
It is. You're right. It is fiction. My mom is the one who's mentioned, she was the first person I heard about this fruit from. And she was like, it smells terrible, but it tastes good. And it's a weird, because sometimes you can't really get the smell out of your mind when you're tasting it.
Oh. It's like, not my clothes. Wait,
like it almost
not
helps.
My new Nike tracksuit.
You just convinced it's gonna ruin it. If you Google cat and click the paw print button that appears in the sidebar, cartoon cat arms will appear and tap every space on the page you click.
You know what? Google does a lot of this stuff. Like they have a lot of little fun things if you Google and you can interact with it. I'ma say false.
False. You are wrong. This is a fact. Damn. And this trick also works for the word dog.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try that.
A man once wore 60 shirts and 9 pairs of jeans to the airport to avoid extra fees.
True.
Yup. Because I understand
because I've heard of people
doing that.
Yeah, I've heard of people doing
that. In fact,
yeah.
they now have things like those little neck pillows where you can stuff clothes into them to form the neck pillow.
What?
Yeah, it's like it's just a cover.
Smart.
And that's one way to...
with shit. The way these airlines charge for bags and shit nowadays, you got to... Anyway, I'm not going to get into it because we have a show to do. But everything... These companies are just getting crazy with the shit. The regular shit that you used to get service-wise from these companies, the stuff that they're charging for now, it's crazy.
Yep, I agree.
They don't even offer amenities anymore. It's like, you should be grateful. They about to start charging people to walk down the damn the flight deck down to the plane. What you call that thing? I don't remember what you call it. Hell,
the tarmac,
the bridge, the flight bridge.
Yeah.
Down to the plane. If you want to walk down this bridge to get to the plane, that's $25 at the gate, buddy. Okay, I don't know what to tell you, but you ain't finna walk down this galleyway.
Every part of this travel is a privilege, not a right.
Okay. We need $30 in the collection plate from everybody before we put down the landing gear.
Thank you for your donation. Thank you for your donation.
Exactly.
All right.
Now, if you want us to come to a complete stop, that's another $10. Okay, because otherwise it's a rolling stop, and y'all gonna have to hop off this mother. And you better hop out the back because we are not stopping the engines. Okay.
All right, I'll do one more. Billionaire Richard Branson once staged an elaborate prank in which he paid over 100 random employees, staff at local businesses, and even family members to convince his assistant that they had never heard of the country of Scotland, and she must have imagined the entire nation.
That is a very rich, eccentric man. I've heard he has done some very elaborate things on that island of his that Obama likes to go to. And didn't he just recently give away a free cruise to everybody on one of his planes?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I just saw a video of that recently where he just gave everybody. He was like, y'all get a free cruise on the new cruise line.
I mean, when you're a billionaire.
Girl, that's what I'm saying. It's true. I'm going to go with true.
Think it's true? Yeah, it's fiction. No word that this ever happened. However, Branson is quite the prankster. In fact, in 1989, he staged a fake UFO sighting that was almost led to him getting arrested.
Oh, stop. Damn, that's crazy.
I mean, when you have all the time in the world.
All the time and all the money in the world. We need to get rid of billionaires.
Honestly.
This episode is going to be entitled Hot Takes because let me let y'all in on a little bit of my business, right? There was an entity that pissed me off before this podcast. So I am flying like a bird, okay,
mad
on
at
this
everybody
podcast because Crystal and I had a whole hour pre-show meeting, and good 45 minutes was about that topic because they played on my top. So y'all getting me in rare form tonight. It's just whatever's coming out is coming out. It's coming out. Thank you, Crystal, so much for that segment. That was
You're welcome.
Very, very fun. I would like to do that again.
We
if
will.
You don't mind.
Absolutely.
I'm sure the audience enjoyed it as well. Make sure next time we play it, y'all, that y'all play at home. Put y'all answers in the comment section as we play along. No cheating. No cheating.
Because we'll know.
So I have something for you, Crystal, if you don't mind.
I don't mind. I'm sure you're really excited about this because, again, we had a pre-show meeting.
Because you're going to make me laugh.
That's exactly it. That is exactly
it. You going to make me laugh, and I'm going to try to get through this. Okay. So this is we're going down the Reddit rabbit hole. Y'all already know. I shouldn't even have to say it by this point. Okay. This is a Today I Fucked Up. And this Today I Fucked Up is entitled, Today I Fucked Up by Not Tracking My Anal Hook Order.
I wasn't prepared.
Oh my God. Do you see why I was crying laughing in the pre-show meeting?
You're going to have to do it
All I
again
did was...
for the edit.
Oh my God. Yeah, I have to get myself together because...
Okay.
Oh. Y'all, I've been struggling. Okay, let me breathe. Okay, here we go. This one is entitled, Today I Fucked Up by Not Tracking My Anal Order. God damn it, I fucked it up. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Take 3. And this is all staying in the podcast. I don't even know why I say take 3. Here we go. Today I fucked up by not tracking my anal hook order. Here we go. This actually happened 2 days ago. Every Valentine's Day, I like to purchase a few toys for my wife and I to experiment with. Over the last few years, we have dove into BDSM, anal play, and sub/dom roles. I know that's right. This year, I ordered an anal hook and some cuffs and back straps to go with the hook. The order was placed in early February and has been on delay ever since. I was checking the status pretty regularly, but hadn't had a chance over the weekend. Monday, I came up from work. I work from home, and my wife calls me into our 6-year-old's room, where she was quietly folding some of his clothes. She asked if I ordered something recently. I was confused as I hadn't. Then it hit me. Apparently, the package arrived, and my son brought it into the house excited to open some mail. He ripped it open on the kitchen floor, and the contents spilled everywhere. This wouldn't have been so bad, except that my other 3 kids, wife, and her parents were all in the kitchen talking. The hook spun to her dad's feet, and he picked it up. He looked at it, looked at the cuffs, looked between my wife, his wife, and asked to nobody in particular, I understand those, but how would you use this? I'm not sure what happened after that, as my wife died of embarrassment and couldn't remember much of the rest. Her parents left before I came up, and I haven't seen them since. Oh, Crystal. Yes, ma'am. You see why I've been crying laughing for the past 2 hours?
I love the fact that Dad was like, I don't understand. How does this work? Like, he's interested. He's looking at that like, honey, look what the kids are doing nowadays.
Do you remember the summer of '74 when I had you? when I had you hog tied in the back seat and we was.
They got new stuff. There's more stuff for us to try. Yeah, there's not much to say about that one. I mean, it is what it is. You know, when you get these stuff, they come in discreet packaging, so they look like everything else. And there's no way to really account for that. You know, your 6-year-old, he was just really excited for new toys. It just didn't know that those weren't his toys. Yeah, you fucked up. You did.
I mean,
you right.
In the worst way. I want to know what the, because I'm with the granddaddy.
I'm about to say, because you keep saying,
you
keep saying it like when you said it, and I'm like, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, what is the hook? And I'm scared.
And he said he bought some straps for the hook, so I'm like, okay,
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna do it.
Is the hook for? But he said it's an anal hook.
I'm gonna do it.
So do you put the hook in your butt and then you hang from the ceiling? Do y'all remember that the SpongeBob movie? I think it was a SpongeBob movie where he was like in the ceiling and he had that little wizard costume and is that how you look with an anal hook in your butt, just dangling from the ceiling, spinning back and forth
what is it?
Slowly. What it look like, Kristen?
It looks like
explain to me and the audience.
It looks like a hook. So it's this.
But is it like silicone or is it metal?
This one looks metal. It's from a picture. So on one end, it's like a little circle, and then it has a bar that hooks, and then there's a ball on it. Now, I don't know how big it is.
Oh,
but
my stomach just turned.
I'm just
God.
confused.
You put that. What do you do with it? Oh. No. My booty hole is.
You know what?
This.
I got a friend who could probably explain it to me. I'm gonna hit him up. I do.
Whoa.
Yep. I got a friend who can explain it to me. He's very.
Is this the? Oh, never mind. I ain't gonna say that.
Very open. In fact, when I first met him, I was like, "What's your socials? Like, let's start following each other." He was like, "Well, just so you know," he was like, "I post a lot of, out there content." He was like, "You are more than welcome to follow me, but I'm giving you a warning. Like, I am, I'm gay. I'm part of the LGBTQ community, and I post a lot of memes, a lot of jokes, things that are jokes but are true." He was like, it's my page. So if you're not comfortable with that type of content, I'm like, you're good. And he was right to warn. He's right to warn people.
Is it like not safe for work? Memes?
Yes,
or something?
A lot of stuff like that. Not safe for work, but you know what? He's always a good time. He's fun. So I'm gonna have to hit him up and be like, "Yo."
Well, if he tells you what an anal hook is, yeah, share it with me and the audience because I'm not finna Google it because I don't want the FBI thinking. I know. I'm not on that type of time.
Look, the FBI has seen. They heard here on this podcast why I was looking it up. Okay. I still don't know what it is, but I also didn't really read the article.
Okay. Yeah. This is one of them situations. You remember the would you rather I gave you where I say, would you rather have them get into your internet history? Would you like to revise your answer?
I know. I'm like, no, I'm not so sure.
Anal hooks. Okay. Well, thank you for following me down that trail.
Yep, we're gonna go move on into the Am I the Asshole Reddit forum. This is a pretty short story. It's actually new too. It was only posted about 12 hours ago. But I wanted to highlight this story because there's a lot of these stories where I feel like it's very common sense, which you should do. The fact that these people are being so conflicted about stuff like this, but then again, that's what we're here for, to continue to reaffirm that you know what you need to do. So this one says, my husband wants a girlfriend, so I filed for divorce. While attempting to refinance our house, I discovered my husband was sending money to another woman. After more digging into his business finances, I discovered he has taken this woman on 2 trips out of the country as well, while he left me home with his kids. After the second trip out of the country, they decided to call it quits after I caught them in the hotel together. 3 months later, he was asking to add a second wife, which is legal in the States. We've been together 6 years by now, married 3, and now he wants to add another woman to our relationship. He portrayed like he was this monogamous, loving husband at the beginning, but now he claims he's poly, and I would be selfish not to do what makes him happy. This is the 3rd marriage for both of us. He knows I divorced my previous 2 husbands for cheating. He's adamant on being with this other woman in addition to me, even though I don't agree. I moved out of the house and filed for divorce. The problem now is everyone is asking me to give the marriage another chance. It's like they're saying it's my fault because I was the one who moved out. I raised his kids the last 6 years, and I'm the only mom his youngest daughter knows. Their mom isn't in their life. She cries, saying, I know dad messed up, but can you come back home? The kids' godparents and marriage counselors, though, through the church, are asking me to give the marriage another chance. This is the second woman he's cheated on me with, and has apparently been cheating the whole 6.5 years we've been together. How many chances do I need to give him? He's saying he loves me and wants to work things out with me, but still wants both of us. I was a stay-at-home mom, so I think he's just going to miss a clean house, clean clothes, personal driver for the kids, and in-home sex since the other partner is out of state. We have a 60-day waiting period before we can finalize divorce. At this point, I'm second-guessing myself if I'm doing the right thing. Am I the asshole for not wanting to give him another chance and finalize the divorce?
Absolutely not. Leave that man. Leave that man. I think the thing that upset me the most is that he was spending money on that hoe. Don't you dare go out there and play in them streets and spend money on that hoe. Because the moment I find out that you didn't spend my ducats, okay, because I, as your spouse, them ducats is reserved for me. If you ain't spending them on yourself, on them kids, bitch is mine. So the fact that you spend money on that, that's strike number 1. That would have been a divorce anyway. But the fact that you claim in polyamory, you're a polygamist. You want to be a polygamist. You want me to stay in the house. You want to hunch on me when you feel like it. You want me to take it. Now, my question is, are any of these kids hers?
It doesn't sound like it, no. It sounds like they're all his. However many they are,
right.
She didn't clarify.
Correct. And you said the youngest one is 6.
She didn't say how old they were. She just said that the youngest one has only known her as its mom.
Okay.
So she's probably close.
Because I don't know why I thought the youngest one was 6, and then you said that they had been together 6.5 years. I was like, wait, the math ain't mathing.
Right. Yeah. No, she was probably just really young.
There's a whole bunch of tangents. By the way, check the chat, Crystal. There's a whole bunch of tangents I could go off in, because I'm like, well, girl, why is this the 3rd marriage you done got cheated on in? Because I don't want to say what I think it is because I'll get canceled. But I don't understand how you getting cheated on. Is it the men that you picking? Is it the circles that you running in? I don't understand. You know, what I would say, the first thing I would have suggested you, if you were going to stay in this marriage, is that you get another husband. Because if he's finna get another wife, you deserve another husband. Okay?
Agreed.
You gonna have to, it's gonna be, it's gonna be a swordsmanship in here. Like, I won't, oh. I was about to say something terrible. She wanted one in the trunk and one in the, you know what I'm saying?
You better get them hooks ready.
Well, the way he playing, he might want them hooks. I ain't gonna hold you. He sound like he into some freaky shit. He might be. You know what? Maybe he need to hit up that couple from the last letter and see what type of time they on, because he might find him a good partnership in them. You know, for real, for real. I'm disgusted. He is a piece of work. Absolutely leave him. Girl, what has I'm gonna say it. What has the church done for you? I don't know your relationship with the Lord, but what has the church done for you?
Because
probably nothing of note.
You can be religious.
They ain't never paid your bills. They ain't never fed your kids. You know what I'm saying? They ain't never did nothing but say, you know what? Let me stop right there. Because I ain't gonna get the church folk mad at me. But
you can be religious without having to go to a church. You don't need that. Your religion
exactly
and how religious you are is not based on where you're going to practice, you know?
And if we learned anything from Risa Tisa, is that religion will leave you in a fucked up marriage for way longer than you need to be in. So girl, don't even worry about them folks. As far as your family, his family is concerned, that ain't none of their business. That's your marriage, that's your life. If you can get off scot-free and start over and pursue your fourth marriage with no children, I mean, get what you can from him, split them assets, you know, leave him with enough to take care of the kids, and I mean bare bones, and take the rest, and go on about your life, girl. You don't deserve this for the third time. But I would investigate why. Why it's the third time it didn't happen, because first time, shame on you. Second, third time, maybe shame on me. Right. I'm just saying now. Maybe something you need to address, you know.
I will say this, you know, because I think it's common sense. Like this isn't going to work. There is no, you're not the asshole. Like you would be the asshole if you stayed, because it is very obvious, considering this man has been cheating the whole time you have been together, not even just the fact that you've been married, but the whole time, that he is not a monogamous person. He does not believe in it. He cannot be it. Now, whether or not it's because he's genuinely is poly, like he just doesn't believe in that type of stuff, or what, I can't speak for that. But if you are not someone who believes in this practice, who is even remotely interested in this practice, you cannot force yourself to want to participate in it. You will not be happy in a poly relationship if you yourself does not want it. If it's not your idea, if someone else has to convince you to be in this type of a relationship, it's not going to work, because you're going to get jealous. You're going to get upset. Something's going to happen that's going to make you be feeling left out or something. It's not going to work. All parties have to be interested in this type of relationship for it to work. There is no no, absolutely not. And if you are interested, if you are going to pursue this, it is not a one-man show. This is not he gets to choose the partners and only him. No, this is everyone gets to have their own thing. You know, if you guys get lucky where you're both into one person, hey, good for you. But this is something that's going to be an everyone thing. You know, I hate cheating. I hate it. I think it's one of the lowest thing you can do to your partner. It's one of the most disrespectful thing you can do to your partner is to cheat on them. But I do believe there are some people that just cannot be in those relationships. They have to have multiple people for some reason. And if that's the case, leave these other people alone. There are people out there with your mindset. Leave these other people alone, because the only thing you're doing is causing hurt. And I can never understand why someone is okay with causing another person hurt, especially someone they try to claim that they love or they care for in any way. I don't know how you can look at someone in the eyes and see them bawling their eyes out or see them so mad and you don't feel like shit. You don't feel like shit enough to try to change your ways, because you just go right back to it. That's my sermon for the day.
Good day. I about to say, Pastor, listen, you better get their ass. Okay.
So,
do you understand me? I'm with you 100,000 billion quadrillion %, because it do sound like he wants, like I say, he wants a polygamous situation. He wants to be the head of the household. He wants to be telling these women, you know, when they can come, when they can go, who finna get in his bed at night, who he prefer. And that just ain't, if you want to go on down there to where they do that at, I ain't gonna mention, because I don't want them, you know, I'm about to say,
we all know.
You know where I'm going. You know where I'm going. I just, you know, I don't want that smoke just yet. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how far they reach. You know, I don't know if they reach across the Great Pond. You know, but I agree with you 100%, girl. Leave this man alone. Don't let him play with you like that. He done already played with your time enough. Leave his ass behind. Put them blinders on. Don't give a shit about what nobody else got to say.
Yep.
Thank you for that, Crystal.
Thank you.
Woo. And that was enough to my blood boiling all over again. I'm like, I'm ready to fight something tonight. Oh, never mind. If I were to go out on the street right now and a 2-year-old stepped on my toes, guess what?
You're gonna look at your child and be like, honey, go fight that baby.
Okay. Go whip their ass.
Go whip that.
Quick. I know they're smaller than you, girl. You've been waiting for this.
You got it. You feisty enough.
It. Oh, child. You ain't see you know that. Yeah. You know that's the truth. All right, you ready for the next one?
I am. Let's do it.
Let's get into the next one. This one is from the subreddit r/Am I the Asshole, and it is entitled, Am I the Asshole for telling my mom and dad that they have to get their noses pierced if they want to see my daughter again?
Okay.
Is that right? Yeah. I told you I was excited to share these stories with you, okay? Here we go. My husband and I traveled down to Mexico to visit with my family. I'm an American citizen. My mom and dad are not. My mom and dad got my daughter earrings for her birthday. My daughter's ears are not pierced. She is only 1 year old. I told them that I would save them for until she had gotten old enough to get her ears pierced. We left my daughter with my parents while we went to meet with some friends. When we went to pick her up, my mom showed us that, This is written a little weird. Essentially, when they went to pick her up, her mom showed them that they didn't need to wait in order to get their daughter's ears pierced and got them pierced for them. So she picked up her daughter and dragged her husband out of the house before he lost his shit. We went back to our hotel. I am furious. My husband said that my parents are not allowed to spend time alone with our daughter ever again. I went further. I said that I would not be bringing her or any of our future children down there to see my parents. We checked out 3 days early and went home. On my way home, my parents were calling me to see when we were coming over. I ignored all the calls and texts until we were back home in Phoenix. We took a couple of days to think things over and cool down. I finally called them. I asked them not to speak until I was done talking. I told them that my husband and I are upset with them for getting our baby's ears pierced without our permission. I told them that we went back home and probably wouldn't be visiting again for a while. They said that my sister and I both had our ears pierced when we were babies and that it didn't do us any harm. I said that we were not going to change our minds. They started getting everyone, including my grandmother, to call me and say that I was being ridiculous. I talked with my husband and we came up with a compromise. We agreed that we would not resume visits until both of them got their noses pierced. They said that we were being stupid and they were not going to do that. I said no problem and hung up. We have started blocking anyone who tries to call us and give us shit for denying my parents their right to see my daughter. Am I the asshole? Shout out to me for not proofreading and editing that, because I should have. I'm sorry, y'all.
I was about to say, I'm going to have fun editing that sneak peek.
I know. I felt so bad. I didn't realize until I started reading it again that I meant to go and edit it before I bought it, but I forgot, and so that was the result.
It's okay. No, you are not the asshole. To the parents of this lady, while I personally agree with, if I'm going to have kids, more than likely any ear piercings that my children have will probably be when they're young. I myself got my ears pierced when I was 6 months old, only because my mom got tired of people thinking I was a boy because I had no hair. I think that's a perfect time to do it. It's probably the easiest time to keep them clean, to keep them not infected. It's not something I'm going to remember the pain of. I get it. However, this is not your child. This is not your decision. It doesn't matter about them being perfectly fine. You're right. She's going to be perfectly fine. I mean, as long as they keep the ears clean, she'll be perfectly fine. That's not the issue. The issue is your daughter and her husband did not decide to get her ears pierced now. You violated their trust and your grandbaby's ears. You did that. Just because you're a grandparent doesn't mean you're the parent. This is not your child. Your decision is not final. It was nice to get the earrings. It's one thing to try to push it and be like, you should really get it done now instead of later. That's opinion. Great. Fine. Parents are annoying. Grandparents can be annoying, or parents can be annoying to their kids when it comes to their kids. We get it. But you were completely in the wrong with this. I find it funny, the compromise. Like, I get it, because if you think about it, like, you're doing something that you don't want to do, which is essentially what you just did to them. But I agree. I mean, I don't think as long as these people cannot accept the fact that they were in the wrong and cannot apologize for it, there's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to say. It's not even about the nose piercing. Like, if you can't even admit that you're in the wrong, you don't get to have access to this child. There's nothing to talk about. And the fact that they live in America and you don't have citizenship means, girl, you don't have any rights to these kids either, because they're not even in the same country as you. So that's what I'm saying.
I'm with you. I don't think I would give them the ultimatum, because I think I'm with the grandparents on that side. Like, that's stupid. Like, they ain't finna do that shit.
Yeah.
However, I'm 100% with you as far as not letting them see that baby no more, because now I can't trust y'all. Now y'all done showed me that I can't trust y'all with my child. Like, that is an extreme thing to do. I mean, it may seem really small in some people's eyes, because they don't care if their baby gets their ears pierced or whatever. But that is a big thing to do. That is a big decision to make for a parent.
Yes.
That would be like if you sent your kids off to daycare and you come back and they'll be in daycare up in at least in the US until they 6 years old, until they start kindergarten. You come, they 5 years old and they got a goddamn nose piercing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be okay. Maybe it's not that extreme. That is great. But for a teeny tiny little baby, for you to leave them with somebody in their care, thinking that you finna get your baby back the exact same way you left your baby, and you don't, I would have lost it. I would have lost it. Yeah. I was gonna share something, but it would have gotten me in trouble. So I ain't gonna share it. Yeah. But I'll share it with Crystal on the post show meeting. Yeah, they was big tripping.
Yeah, we're gonna say not the asshole. I agree. I think the whole nose piercing thing is it's just ridiculous. It's a little, but if you came back with, if you can't even apologize, if you can't even acknowledge that what you did was wrong and actually mean it, not just say it just so you can have access to my child, you don't need to have access at all. Like,
but I don't even know if I could trust them after that.
oh,
Even if they apologize,
no,
there's no atonement. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm not saying that would wipe things. Like, okay, now we can go back to what it was. You're never going to be able to get that trust back because you violated our, you know, what we said. You returned my baby back with holes in her ear. That's not okay.
Exactly.
Because, you know, they might have just been polite. They might have just been polite to you by saying, oh, okay, yeah, we'll let you know when we get her ears pierced, and had no intention of ever having her ears pierced until she's old enough to decide if she wanted that, which she probably would have. Most girls do. But, yeah, I think an apology is in order just to be able to still have communication. But as far as leaving 100%. The child with them, that's not that's not happening anytime
soon. That's not a possibility. Sorry.
All right, so we're
okay, Crystal, what you got for us?
Moving on to my final story. This one was off of Reddit. It's from the True Off My Chest forum. This one's a doozy. I don't know what it was today. I guess I'm just in a relationship type of mood. I feel like you know, because this one was posted 2 days ago. So for all of y'all up and down in my comments wanting updates, there's no update. It's 2 days ago. So I will keep an eye on it because I too would like to know what's going on. But anyways, this title is, I found a second phone that my husband used to cheat on me with, and now he is panicking. I'm using a throwaway. I know. Me and my mom still have to watch that. We still have to watch that.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's
Spoiler
okay.
alert.
I mean, I think I already knew that part because I've seen bits and pieces here and there. But yeah, we watched 2 documentaries this week, which I wanted to talk to you about. So now that those documentaries,
girl, did you watch the one about the kids who was at the
Ivy Ridge?
Something? The Ivy. Okay, all right.
I know we're going off topic.
Yeah. Sorry.
Talk about later.
Continue.
Anyways, but now that we've gotten those documentaries out of the way, we're gonna sit down and watch the Risa Tisa one. Okay, let me redo this for the edit. I found a second phone that my husband used to cheat on me with, and now he is panicking. I'm using a throwaway for this. I found the phone 3 months ago. The way I found out he was cheating was by accident. I had recently gotten a new phone because I dropped my own phone. I recently got a new phone because I dropped my old phone and the screen cracked so badly that I couldn't even use it at all. It was hard to get all my contacts, so I decided to go on our phone account and just get the contacts from there. My husband is the one who's in charge of paying for the phone, so I never look at the account. I went on his computer and he had the password and login automatically saved to the account. So it was easy. I got all of my numbers, but then I noticed that instead of just 2 lines on the account, there was 3, and another phone was listed that neither of us had. Honestly, at the time, I thought nothing of it and thought maybe it was a line for his grandmother because she only had a landline and she had mentioned a couple of times wanting to get a phone, and he just forgot to mention it. Cheating never even crossed my mind. I didn't even ask him about it and went on about my day. A few days later, I was hanging out with my best friend and she asked if I was able to get all of my information back. And I said, yeah, and just mentioned that I even found out his grandmother had a phone and he didn't tell me, but it wasn't a big deal. I don't know what made her ask, but she said, are you sure it's his grandmother's phone? And I said, pretty sure. She asked me to double check and I wasn't going to do it, but I was curious. I called his mom first to say hi and asked her about his grandmother and if she had found a phone yet. And his mom said no, that she decided she didn't really need it. I waited for him to go to work the next day and I looked at the account again. I went to the phone, clicked view usage history, and saw that the phone had only texted and called one number hundreds of times with the history going back 5 months. I also noticed that the times of the calls and texts were only the times when he was at work, never at home. When I saw that, I honestly tried to rationalize it because there's no way he would cheat on me. So I called my friend and told her what I saw, and she basically told me I needed to find the phone to confirm cheating first. I looked for it all over the house for days and couldn't find it, so I knew he must have it on him. I waited for him to go to sleep, searched his car, and I found the phone. His passcode was the same passcode as his regular phone, and I found everything. Text messages, pictures of her, pictures of them together, them saying I love you. She sends him a good morning video message every morning, and he has kept every one. I was heartbroken and cried the whole night. My friend told me to take the phone, turn all the location trackers off, and then turn it off. The morning he left, he was 30 minutes late to work because he was looking for it, but he couldn't ask me because he would have had to reveal he had another phone. I kept asking him what he was looking for, and he said a file for work. He eventually left. I went to a park with my friend when he left and turned the phone on and put it on airplane mode and proceeded to go through everything. Our whole marriage is a lie. He has pretended that he cares about me, that he loves me while building a relationship with the other woman who knows that he's married. I can't even describe how I felt when I found out. I still haven't confronted him about it, and that's because I'm planning to leave in a few months. There is a benefit to being married to him that I would lose if I filed for divorce now, but I won't need that benefit anymore in a couple of months. He knows everything is up because I put the phone back 4 days later underneath his car seat, the same seat he checked more than a few times when he was looking for it. I even charged the phone back to the same percentage that I found it at. I got that idea from my friend. The day he found the phone, he came into the house and hovered over me the whole night, and he was really quiet. He hasn't asked me about it, and I think he knows I know, but asking would lead to more questions. These past 3 months, my behavior has changed, and we haven't been intimate since I found out. I've rejected every advance, and he is panicking to the point when I check the account. He is panicking to the point that when I checked the account in the first month, the third phone line had been removed. He also changed the password a few days later. He keeps asking me what's wrong, and I say nothing. He never goes anywhere now, and if he isn't at work, he's at home trying to spend time with me. He has recommended couples therapy because, in his words, something has changed, and I said we don't need it. To be honest, I'm finding a weird joy in seeing him panic because he ended our marriage, and I think he should suffer through worrying until I leave. Just for an edit, she says, I have everything. My friend was able to show me how to get all the texts, video, messages, pictures of them together. I only took the ones where they were not nude because my friend said that taking nude photos of a person who hadn't given them to you could be an issue later on. I also got the phone account usage before he locked me out of the account. She's keeping everything for me. In fact, it was her idea to let him panic. I also already had an STD test. I'm on his insurance, so I paid for it out of pocket, and I'm fine. So I spontaneously decided to make this post earlier because I was home and thinking and going over what I had planned and my impending divorce. I ended up on the divorce subreddit and then found the cake eater subreddit, which was not a good choice because it made me so angry. Him cheating on me I can't even find words to describe how painful it is. In a way, I'm doing this to him is petty. When I started this, it was the only way to make him hurt like how he has hurt me. He absolutely destroyed me with this, and I have been with help from my friend trying to heal slowly. I don't know if I ever will. I don't care if he finds the post on here or other social media. He knows I know he cheated, or he wouldn't be trying to prove to me he is where he says he is all the time. I'm done, and thankfully I have a friend who is helping me through this, including looking for lawyers. He can be with whoever he wants. I don't care. The hurt is too much for me to ever care about him again, to love him again. I'm only staying because I need something. I have a few more months left to go. I don't know if I'll update because I have a long road ahead of me, but thank you for the comment.
Girl, shout out to you for whatever benefit he got that you need. I hope that it's a big enough thing for you to stay through all of this. This is crazy. I am flabbergasted. Number one, shout out to your friend. Your friend is a ride or die. Like, your friend, honestly, that sounds like some shit be a Crystal would do. That sounds like some shit me and Crystal would do for one another. Like,
absolutely.
Girl, like, print all that shit out. I already looked up the law, right? I got an attorney or retainer. you ain't even got to worry about it, right? I already got this shit planned out. So go ahead and ship it over here. I'm going to keep it here. That way they can't, international law, baby. They can't get their fingers on it.
No extradition.
No extradition. We finna run to Russia, bitch. We about to kill him and run to Russia, bitch. No extradition.
Honestly, the fact that the part where she was like, charge the phone to the exact percentage that you found it at.
Because that is such an important detail.
Yes.
But low-key, as horrible as it sounds, and y'all probably saw my face, I judged the hell out of the husband for keeping his passwords pre-saved on his computer. What would you do if you out here playing in them streets like that? And you number one, okay, actually, your husband is a fucking idiot. Because not that I'm advocating him cheating or nothing else, but he is the worst of you couldn't even go get a prepaid phone. You couldn't have put minutes on the phone. Because she not checking if she was barely checking your phone records, so she ain't checking the financial records. Why couldn't you have put a little, draw $1,500 out the bank one time, random time, and go and buy your cards in cash? It'll never get traced. Goddamn dummy. Like, you deserve to get caught. And then you keep the password on the computer that she has access. Wait.
I was about to say, you know how many men are like, right, okay. So 1,500, okay. So that's okay, and I'll do it in cash. And the females on here like, keep talking, T. Keep talking. About to be in these comments.
Just thinking, you watch enough TV and stuff, because I am a Dateline, like, ooh, I am an addict. So you hear all these stories and you're like, well, this is where that person went wrong. This is where that person went wrong. So this is my Dateline brain working. I'm just like, how could he have done this better? Not that he needed to do it better because he's a piece of shit. I commend you, ma'am, for staying in there to get what you got to get. It must be mighty important to you, but I appreciate the fact that you are like, you're not getting none of this punani. What Sierra say? My goodies, not my goodies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not getting none of them goodies. You know, you doing what you got to. You watching him squirm, and you getting what you got to get, and then you can get the hell up out of there.
Yep.
At the end of the day, I'm assuming maybe he's in the military and she's getting some type of like school benefits or something.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know.
Too.
That's why I don't know why that's the first thing that popped into my brain, but it seems like she's getting some type of schooling, because I don't think it would be like a medical thing.
I mean, it could. There are some people, depending on the job he has, if he has a really good insurance benefit, it could be something like that. I don't know what it is, but it's important enough to her.
But since it seems so finite that I would think the only thing would be school,
right?
That she's going through.
I could see that being a good point.
Yeah, it needs to finish. So, girl, do what you got to do to get what you got to get to set yourself up for success on the other side. And if you are entitled to any sort of assets or compensation, go forward to the fullest extent, because he really played in your face. He really played in your face. Yeah, sloppily at that. That's the most offensive part.
But you know what? When I hear about these cheating things, this is how they get caught. It's like a part of me thinks that when these people cheat, there comes a point where they just kind of want to be caught, and they do this sloppily and stuff like that.
Yeah. The fact that you had pictures of you naked with that one, like, why are you doing all that? Go be with her.
Yeah.
Go be with her.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't want me no more.
Right.
Go be with her. Y'all taking naked pictures. Y'all going on goddamn trips and everything else. Leave me alone. What Fantasia said, if you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Go ahead and free yourself. Can I get an amen? Leave me, and AKA leave me the hell alone.
Because I don't know.
Get on that lady nerves.
That's another thing. That's what I don't understand when it comes to people who cheat. When they get caught and they try to backtrack and they try to, salvage this relationship any way they can. But if the woman is strong enough to be like, no, I'm not forgiving you. We're done. We're over. We're broken up, or we're getting divorced, whatever. A lot of times they'll then go and start a relationship with these affair partners. And I'm like, why didn't you just
do that?
Right. Like,
because they want their cake and to eat it too.
Especially because we all know that if she had been stupid enough to be with you again, somewhere down the line, I truly believe you would have done it again. Maybe it wouldn't have been as long term, but it would have happened again. You would have been out somewhere with some friends. You would have been on a work trip. You would have met somebody, and it would have just happened. And you wouldn't have thought anything of it, and you would have went about your day. Like, I fully believe that. I just don't. And for the people,
y'all going on vacations, y'all snuggling in bed, like that would bother me so bad.
And
it
it's
would bother
like
me so bad.
I feel for some of these people who are like, oh, at least he comes back to me, like, he's always who can have that mindset, because girl, yeah, of course he's coming back to you. He wants to see if you're still stupid.
That's where the mortgage is, ma'am.
Right.
He owes money over there. He got to handle that.
Right.
He don't have no choice but to come back to you.
So yeah, as far as this woman goes, like, I will say, especially to the men who cheat, if you have cheated and you haven't officially been caught, like you think you've been caught but you're not sure, and your woman has got that I don't care attitude, it's over. It's a wrap. Once your woman doesn't care about you, is not fighting for you, is not talking to you, is letting you do whatever. Once she has that I don't care mentality, she's out.
Mm-hmm.
She's already checked out. She is making her moves. She is figuring out how she can get out of this situation with as much things intact as she can. She's making her plans. It's just a matter of when. It's not if, it's when. When is she finally going to leave? Because it's already done. It's over with. So, I feel for her because I hear the pain in her words. Even when she's like, it's been several months since I found out, I'm making moves. But even now, I can hear the pain in her words as she's writing it. Because while she's probably getting some enjoyment from watching him squirm, I'm sure it's not easy for her to ignore these love bombings that he's trying to, especially when you're a woman who has that mindset of, my husband would never cheat on me. Would never. I feel for those women.
That's a long time to keep up that facade, though. Like, the fact that she's keeping this up for months and months on end, I don't, because she said they ain't bumped nasties in months. I don't know. I would have been able to, after a while, I would have like, all right, what the hell is going on?
Right,
like,
right.
Even if I was the husband, I would have broke. I would have been like, all right, bitch, I know I cheated. God damn.
I honestly think he's hoping that because she hasn't said anything, that she's figuring out a way to get over it. I'm thinking he's giving himself a false sense of, okay, it's going to take a little while. She knows, I know she knows, and she knows I know. But as long as I keep, if we're going to pretend this didn't happen, I just got to keep at it, because she's slowly going to start forgiving me at some point. I really think that's what he's thinking. So he's just got to keep on his track. So he's not caring that they're not being affectionate, that they're not, doing anything with each other, because he knows why. It's one thing if you didn't know why. Yeah.
I don't get how people's brain work like that.
Yeah.
My brain just don't work like that. If I know something going on, or if I know the energy has shifted or something, I got to say something. I can't just live in that knowing every single day that the shoe is going to drop. Like, okay, we know that each other know. So let's just get this shit, like let's get a crunk in here. Like, let's stop playing this game and just dead it right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
But Shout
yes,
out to her.
ma'am.
She is one strong woman.
I do hope she updates, because I would love to hear where she finds herself in a couple of months, whenever that benefit is. Just because I'm nosy, I want to know how he reacts to finally being confronted about it. But if not,
and I want it to be like a grand gesture. Like I want her that divorce day. I want him to come home and it's just his friends and family in the house. They don't know why they're there. They think it's some type of surprise celebration for him. And then she's like, oh, I just put together a little montage. Just if everybody could gather around the television. And then she turns it on. It's just a montage of all their naked pictures and
while she flips out the back. Yeah.
While she takes the most expensive bottle of champagne that she can afford and in a flute glass and just slowly pours it over frozen grapes in her flute glass. And she just cheers, baby, to him across the room.
Yeah.
And then gets her keys and walks out the door.
I want that for her so bad.
I can see it now. Yep.
But yes, if nothing else,
so tasty.
If nothing else, I hope she's able to heal from this. I hope.
No.
I'm so glad for her having that friend on her side, because everyone needs someone like that. And that friend,
shout out,
ma'am, if you are not a detective, I think
she
you're in
has to be a lawyer,
a consultant of some sort, some
kind.
Because if not,
fact,
I have a business proposal for you. I think would be really good for you. Because there's a lot of women.
If you're out there, please, tiandcrystal@gmail.com. We want to have you on the show.
Right.
You could help a lot of these people whose letters we read on this show, because you got your head on those shoulders. Okay. They are sitting tight. Like you got a 360 owl type of view of the world. And I need that in my life. So if you are the person, that friend in that letter, please hit us up.
Yes.
Well, thank you for that, Crystal. That was good. That was good. This show has just been a roller coaster ride for me. Honestly, I done laughed. I done almost cried. I done got pissed off. I done cussed people out. I done talked terrible about the church.
We're learning new things.
This was, girl. I told you this was finna be an episode for me. Somebody gonna have to make me mad before each episode, so I come in here on this type of time. Oh my God. Well, thank you all for joining us for another episode of the Tea and Crystals podcast. If you like what you heard, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening, and make sure that you also write a review. We very much appreciate everyone who has done that so far. If you like what you saw, make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe on YouTube. The YouTube is YouTubing, so we want to keep it going over there. If you have any questions, comments, or you would like to share your own story with us, please do so at teaandcrystal@gmail.com. That's teaandcrystal@gmail.com. Our DMs are also open. We have received your letters. They are in the queue. If we choose, they will be on the show. So please keep doing that on all our social media platforms. Send it to us in the DMs. Make sure that you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook by searching Tea and Crystals Podcast. Follow us on TikTok at Tea and Crystals Podcast and on Instagram at Tea and Crystals Pod. Now, Crystal, is there anything else you would like to say to the lovely people before we get the hell up out of her?
Yes, I would actually like to bring attention to something. I think it's still going on. I don't think that the end date has ended yet. But during these here times in the U.S., it is Girl Scout season, where you get Girl Scout cookies, which I love. My favorite are the thin ones, obviously. But if you want to buy Girl Scout cookies before it's too late, and you don't have a troop or you know a little girl that is in Girl Scouts or anyways, I have a recommendation for you. There is a troop called Troop 6000. They are based out of New York. They are a Girl Scout group that you can get cookies from, and they are from girls who are families are living in temporary housing in New York City, so shelter system and stuff like that. So to support their troop, you can order directly from the troop 6,000. You know, a lot of times these families are in there for whatever reason. The average time of spending in a shelter until they find permanent housing is usually around 18 months. It's a really hard time for children during that time, especially young girls. Being a part of the Girl Scouts is a way to help them have a little normality in their life, community, all that stuff. You can go to girlscoutsnyc.org. They are the Troop 6,000, and you can place an online order directly from them and support the girls of New York for Girl Scout youth.
That is amazing. I will be doing that, so I implore all of you who listen to the Tea and Crystals podcast to do that as well. That is a beautiful thing, and you get cookies out of it.
Yes.
Who don't love cookies? And I heard they got some s'more cookies that are smacking.
So good.
Okay?
So good.
So that's what I'll be ordering if y'all were wondering. And if y'all want to order some cookies on my behalf, my address is you send it to Tea and Crystals at.
I know, we should get a P.O. box.
Well, thank you for that. The 40. No, actually, I'm a little scared. Y'all are gonna send an anal hook in the damn P.O. box, and I'm not trying to explain that to my people. They go pick it up. The P.O. box. Tell me, why are people sending you anal toys?
What is this?
What's going on?
Yeah.
What is it? Now, where does this one spin?
Oh, thank you guys so much for coming. And one last thing, I know we're going to be late by the time this episode airs, but happy St. Patrick's Day. That's why this thing is going on here. We missed it last week was when we should do it. So in the meantime, yes, I hope you guys enjoyed it. It'll be past the date when this episode airs, but thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you again next week. Bye.
Bye, y'all.